But now, when it comes to planning a virtual or hybrid event, the first thing you need to decide is what type of virtual event is best for you. Mish, can you tell us a little bit about our options? And then maybe Chris, you can jump in and talk to the implementation for each of them.
Absolutely. There's many different ways that you can execute on these events, and there's no wrong or right way to go about doing this. And the great part about virtual is that there are options for about every event size and every budget. But over the past year, we've really honed in on four different types of virtual events. The first one's a live premiere. This is really a straightforward and easy approach. Everything is fully pre-recorded, and then it just just premieres at a certain day and time. This takes away the pressure from presenters who are not comfortable being live. Case in point. And this is a great way for companies like private equity groups or groups where facts and figures are important and can't be left to chance of a presenter misspeaking any of those facts. You can capture these virtually or in a traditional studio setting. And just because it's recorded ahead of time doesn't mean that with the right platform, you can't have live interactive Q&A through chat for speakers to interact with those attendees. And for example, one of our newest clients this year, they historically host an in-person meeting with about 6,000 people in attendance. Obviously, this year they had to go virtual. They did a live premiere situation, and they reached approximately 180,000 unique views over 4 days of content. Currently, they don't have any plans to go back to in-person, and this might be the new norm in the new future for this client. But teams like ours can take all that video content in, we can help get it recorded, we can edit it and get it ready for deployment, and that's where a team like Chris's comes in.
Yeah, so this is an easy one for us. In this scenario, our team takes the final video and hits the play button to deploy your chosen platform. But none of this is possible without our dedicated bandwidth, hardware encoders, and engineers here to monitor the stream quality.
The next type of live remote, or next type of live event is a live remote. And that's what we're doing right now. I'm not in studio with Chris and Brittany today. I'm in a totally different location. And this is where your speakers are all live and again, separated by time. With this scenario, it's important to have a solid run of show in place, including backups, fail safes, because it's virtual and issues are going to arise. But with the right tools, creature comforts your speakers have come to love at a live event, such as a countdown timer, a teleprompter, graphics, all of those things can be pushed directly to your presenter's computer. I also can't stress enough how essential rehearsals are in this scenario. We do this daily with clients, but still we had 2 or 3 rehearsals ourselves just to get ready for you guys today. My team is behind the scenes right now. They're coaching, they're directing, they're talking in my ear and giving me tips. They're also holding their breath that I don't say anything stupid or put my foot in my mouth. We'll see how that's going to go. But lucky for me, if I do go astray, David's right here keeping me on track and coaching me. We've seen scenarios in the past where a presenter has lost power, their internet quality has dipped significantly, or we've completely dropped them from the broadcast. And while this can be scary in a typical event, we have done simulations and we have backup plans in place for when this happens. So while you never can truly expect the unexpected, we can be prepared with backups in place.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct because, you know, the bumps and bruises are definitely going to come, but you have to be prepared. With our setup, producers like Mish can speak directly to any and all presenters without the virtual audience ever knowing. She can give them cues when they will be speaking next or talk them live through changes that need to happen and even feed the presenters questions coming in from the virtual audience.
And then we have the hybrid events, which I bet you guys are all here today. And we really executed these past year in 2 different ways. The first is a hybrid that is virtual. So all of your attendees are going to be virtual and not in person. We pre-record some of the content maybe, but we also have live remote presenters as well. This works great in scenarios where some speakers might be unavailable for your live event day, but you still want to include their message in your content. Or if you have some presenters with unreliable connections that make it difficult for them to be live, maybe they're in a different time zone, but they still need to be included. Or again, like me, maybe they just hate being live on camera and this could have gone way better for you all if I was pre-recorded. But we've seen some clients execute this wonderfully by having the lecture portions pre-recorded, but then having social events to give that live component and give your attendees a chance to get together. So gaming tournaments, happy hours, even cooking demonstrations for that live portion. But where I think the future of events is going is the true hybrid model. In fact, a recent survey in our industry by Freeman Data, almost 80% of some 20,000 brand marketers surveyed agreed that moving forward, in-person events will pivot to this style model. In this model, you'll have presenters that are both live on stage and that are live remote. You're going to have an audience that's in person, and you're going to have an audience that's completely live from home. The key to this scenario is being able to understand both of these audiences and that they're going to have certain expectations, and that your presenters are going to have certain levels of support requirements as well. If done correctly, this scenario of a true hybrid should not double the cost of your production. Sure, you're going to have some additional fees. You're going to have a platform you're going to need, some additional bandwidth, just to name a few. But a good production partner will make sure that the content being developed will translate both to the in-person and virtual audiences, be able to provide that speaker support to all hosts, and really strategize how to grow both of these audiences. Because you don't want to have a hybrid event and lose those butts in the seats, if you will. I think we can all agree there's something great about that collaboration when people are together in person. But that being said, based on the data of how easily the world moved into this virtual space during COVID last year, going forward, this hybrid has to be the norm. To keep people attending in person, you can add additional exclusive content that you only get in that in-person experience. You can also, add speakers that only see the virtual audience. For your virtual attendee, maybe they're just getting the main content for a reduced price ticket. And a good example of this is we have a client annually that purposefully books smaller venues. Think 2,500, 3,000 seats, but then they still pull in another 15,000 plus on the stream side. Both of these are paid tickets, but if you want to be in person, you're going to pay a little more, but you're going to get a little more, maybe a little more sponsor swag, maybe a nightly event. Whereas if you buy that virtual reduced price ticket, then you're just getting the stream and the main content. But by purposely booking a smaller venue with this client, they sell out in a matter of days, if not hours, and making that an exclusive ticket experience that people want to get in on right away so they can be in person. And with the on-site hybrid event, you have the opportunity to reach even more of the population. According to worldbank.org, over 15% of the world's population experiences some form of disability. That's over 1 billion people who face barriers of attending an event in person ever. And now companies like you guys have an opportunity to connect with them. And at the very least, I think you should all think of this like an insurance policy. With this hybrid model, at a moment's notice, a speaker that was supposed to be live can now be live remote. Attendees can have the option of participating in person or virtual based on their comfort level. And your brand could reach more people just by having this as an option.
Michelin, I totally agree. The hybrid event is definitely trending, and there are actually two parts of this puzzle. First is a standard in-room live audience, and we approach this similar to a normal live event, but with an added component of remote call-in capabilities. We are able to securely bring in live remotes from anywhere in the world to our clients' programs. Our proprietary remote call-in system is an all-in-one solution that only needs a dedicated internet connection. We can also take in the usual Zoom, Skype, and team calls to supplement this system. For the remote audience, we utilize dedicated hardware encoders that are capable of sending to a multitude of platforms, including industry standard protocols such as RTMP. This allows our clients to push to virtually any streaming platform. Bandwidth requirements for the virtual portion have changed the game. Previously, we only had to worry about upload bandwidth, but with the remote presenters now you need dedicated download bandwidth as well. For the remote stream, we only need to worry about upload speed. This can vary by platform, but usually runs about 4 megabytes per second. This is additional upload bandwidth required added to your max number of remote presenters. For this scenario, you would want a minimum up and down dedicated bandwidth of 20 megabits per second. It is crucial to the show that this bandwidth be dedicated to make this work as smoothly as possible. Most hotels can easily provide dedicated bandwidth for your hybrid event, and at our Vital studios, we have a minimum dedicated bandwidth with a 99.7% uptime and service level agreement.